All right, so we'll get this going, but I forgot how to do this, so just give me 1 second here. It's been a very long time. All right, so that should put Radar Omega forefront there. It did. Okay, great. All right, so good morning, everybody. We're going to take a look at our severe weather risk over the next. There it goes. Over the next couple of days, it's actually looking pretty active here. Um, so first things first, here's a look at what we've got going on around the country. And again, we are using Radar Omega. You can see these fronts, some stationary fronts kind of stalled out here. We've got some showers going on over New Mexico up into Montana, but there's really nothing going on here to note. I'm going to, yeah, so we've got day one. So we're going to go ahead and get right into this. So day one, we've got our yellow slight risk. This is our level 2 out of 5 today. And I'm not really very interested in this. There could be, I need to move this notification. There could be, come on, there we go. There could be maybe an isolated tornado risk somewhere up in this area, this part of Nebraska here, but it's just not going to happen. What I was kind of paying attention to was down here in the panhandle regions, like right around here. There's going to be some kind of messy convection. We're going to use the HRRR model. We'll back it up to 12Z, so we got a longer run. We're going to go ahead and load this, and this is available in Radar Omega, folks. So don't even have to leave the application to do this. But if we go ahead and run the future radar forward to 6 p.m., you can see we've got maybe some isolated cells trying to pop in southwest Kansas. I've seen this many times where it looks like garbage. You know, back here, your main event is garbage, but out in front of it, you get these kind of small supercell type structures that form. And honestly, sometimes they're not that bad. Sometimes you can actually get some really nice looking structure on these before the main line comes through and just wipes them out. I'm likely not going for those. I'm actually down here, guys, in Waco. We could get up here by 4 p.m. if we had to, and this is showing at 6 p.m. So we could get here. But I'm thinking these are just going to be really messy. We actually could even catch the squall line as it comes through this entire line, as it comes through along, somewhere on I-40, like maybe Elk City, maybe even back by like Shamrock, Texas. But I'll tell you why I'm kind of leaning toward not, and it's going to make sense here in a minute. But first, let's kind of just roll the HRRR forward because it's going to start making sense to you in a minute. So as we get to about 1 a.m., this complex is going to be out of here. It's going to be past I-35. It's gone. It's nobody's problem anymore. And now tomorrow at 1 p.m., we've got this broken complex of thunderstorms. We've got kind of this main cluster up by Wichita, and then we've got this broken cluster down here in western Oklahoma. Now, as we go ahead and actually, let's switch our tomorrow on. Here's our risk for tomorrow, by the way. That risk for severe storms tomorrow extends from southwest Wisconsin all the way down to Abilene, Texas. Actually, that's almost a Big Spring. No, San Angelo, Texas. Huge severe weather risk. We're going to focus on the Oklahoma portion here, and you'll see why. So here about 1 p.m., we've already got convection happening. So tomorrow is going to be an early day. This is that typical, summertime afternoon thunderstorm type stuff. And we're expecting a squall line to form here. This entire line here moving into I-35, moving east and northeast by, 4 p.m., 3 p.m. And as we progress this farther, it looks like we've actually got a tailing round. So it's got a buddy here. It's got a second round. There's our 2 squall lines right there. But I don't know if this is actually going to happen. This could just be HRRR error. I don't really expect 2 rounds because if you look here, it is at 3 o'clock p.m. and it's already raining. It's destabilizing. It's using up a lot of that instability. And then by 5 or 6, we expect another robust squall line in its cold pool. I don't really buy that, but it is a possibility. One thing to note with this is as we go farther north, all the way from Tulsa to Madison, Wisconsin, we've got a continuous squall line. Like I said, from Tulsa to Madison. Look at that. By 6 p.m., it's already pushing into parts of the Mississippi River there, southwest Wisconsin, Columbia, Missouri. It's going to cross I-39 and 90, so Rockford, Madison, down toward Peoria there. It's going to be out of there by 9 or 10 p.m. And then this thing's just going to crap out and dissipate, with the exception of the southern end of it here. Abilene to McKinney to Fort Smith here could still be ongoing late at night. And look at this, we've actually got this thing maybe even continuing by 7 o'clock in the morning. So this could be an all-night squall line here, especially in this Big Bend region of Texas right there, as this kind of remnants of it here drop to the south. So the reason I'm kind of thinking about sitting out today, I'm not 100% certain. I'm kind of 30%. I'm 30% going. I'm 70% not. Because look at this. So this would be such an easy event to cover. All we've got to do is be by El Reno at 1 o'clock tomorrow. Not a problem. Just sit in El Reno, watch this thing roll in. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this off. So I'm going to put this on freezing rain accretion just to get it off of the screen. So I'm not quite done with this, but I just don't want anything on the screen. I want to go back to severe weather, and I'm going to turn on day 3. Well, look at where day 3 is. We've got eastern New Mexico, southeastern Colorado. Look at that, even up into the mountains. Yeah, Canyon City up here, that's damn near in the mountains. So folks, this is why I'm getting a little excited about this, because I might even do something stupid. We might even go to the west of I-25 tomorrow at this rate. I don't have the right vehicle to really be doing that, but what I want to point out here, folks, is where we typically go and do our Jeep trails when we're live streaming and such. Those are actually, let me see if I can actually find that on the map. There's Lake City. Yeah, so right out here. So we actually go right in this region out here, this mountainous region. And you can see there's not much of a distance there. So we're actually getting into some pretty rugged terrain here. Salida is actually a very pretty area, but Salida is kind of like where it transitions into some serious mountains. But Canyon City would be really pretty if we could get some severe weather out there between Canyon City and Pueblo, down there by Wallensburg. This would be really cool. Trinidad is an awesome place. I will tell you right now, folks, if we can actually somehow squeeze out a storm chase in this region, or I should say this region tomorrow, we're going to go for it at all costs, because that's just awesome. If I had my truck, it would be even cooler, because we'd spend a couple days out there, but that's broken. So here's our severe weather risk for, if I said tomorrow, I actually meant Wednesday, day 3. I got all my days all screwed up, but this is day 3. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a slight risk out here somewhere, but let's go ahead and use NAM. I think the high-res NAM goes out long enough, but I'm not for certain. 6.4, yeah, it does. All right, so I'll put this on composite. So this is going to be future radar, and we're going to go ahead and load this. So we're looking for 6.4. Yes, look at that, guys. 6.4. So this is Wednesday at 6 p.m. Whoops, I just screwed the map. I got to refresh that. I hit the button and hit it. Whoops. Hold on, technical difficulty. My bad. So we do have some thunderstorms. Look at this. We might even have some thunderstorms over the mountains here in southwest Colorado, but this marginal risk does not look that great. I'm going to tell you that, just first impressions right now, this looks like crap. But it might just be enough to do something interesting, maybe around Trinidad. But that's a long drive out there, guys. That's going to be a lot of money blown if there's nothing. But I will tell you that this is one of the reasons why I'm okay possibly with sitting out today, because that's money and time that we're not spending to go out to I-40 today, that we could spend, and money and time that we could spend on Wednesday potentially. I'm going to go ahead and remove the model data here and take a look here at day 4. Okay, so here's day 4. Okay, so today is Monday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Okay, Thursday. Have to think really hard here, folks. Thursday, we've got a risk from Levelland, Lubbock, Hobbs, New Mexico, all the way up there to Pratt and Wichita. Could see storms anywhere in this region. We're not going to really look at too much this far out, though. I don't think we have a day 5. I don't think we have anything beyond day 4, do we? We don't. Okay. I thought there was. Maybe that was CSU that I was looking at. Give me 1 second, folks. I want to... I want to show you guys the CSU model real quick. I don't know why it's broken. It doesn't load on this computer ever. I don't know why. Super frustrating. Give me 1 second here. All right, I have to switch this screen sharing. Okay, so there is our CSU probabilities. This is the Colorado something university. Their website, and no offense to any of you folks who may work there or do whatever, but your website's garbage. When I click on the stuff, it either doesn't open or it shows me stuff from back in May. I don't know what you've got going on, but somebody was able to find this for me, I guess. Thank God. But here is the probabilities. This is kind of similar to the SPC. In fact, I actually like this better because this gives raw computerized or computer generated probabilities. So if we look at now, this doesn't necessarily mean slight risk, but this kind of is a very similar calibrated thing to the SPC. But Thursday, 6/5, that's showing that 15% area for the panhandle of Texas and all that again. So that's day 4. So that coincides with SPC. Friday, which is the next day, we've got that 15% risk. You can see that at the top right corner from like Lubbock all the way to southern Missouri. So that tells us that we've probably got a pretty good chance at some sort of a storm chase on Friday between the Texas Panhandle and Oklahoma. And we'll probably try to stay in western Oklahoma or the Panhandle. And then on Saturday, it looks like that risk might move east down in the bottom left there. And you can see that area of interest is for mainly Oklahoma, northwest Arkansas, and southern Missouri. But hopefully that turns out to be an Oklahoma risk. And then you can see Sunday and Monday, we don't really have probabilities on that too much yet for. Trying to take a look at something here. We'll take one real quick look here at the GFS. I hate the GFS. Let's take one real quick look at the GFS. And I want to look at moisture. Hang on a second. What's happening right now? Here's I just want to look at moisture because right now, with the way the weather pattern we're in, I guess my concern with a lot of these is the moisture being flushed out. So where you see the brighter colors like the purples and the blues, that's going to be more moisture. Checkout's at 11. Well, I'm not in a hurry. We're waiting for this to render. We're loading a lot of frames here, and my internet sucks at this hotel. Give this a minute. I've got very slow internet at this hotel, like 4 or 5 megabits or megabytes, whatever. So it is taking a good minute here to load all these frames. To be expected, though. Housekeeping is already just like hovering outside that door. Drives me nuts. Especially when you pretty much live in hotels and before checkout, even with that thing on the door, they're always like banging on the freaking hotel door at like 9:30 in the morning. It's like, just leave me alone. And when it happens day after day after day, and it's every day of your life, it really starts to get old. So I don't even partake in that anymore. So if we go ahead and run this forward to, you can see how just what I want you to pay attention to is our moisture. We're looking for any spots. I'll start this over. We're looking for any spots where it gets really flushed out. So if we start seeing parts of Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas getting flushed out where it's very dry, that means that means we can pretty much just cross that day right off the calendar. Like right there, that's the 3rd. So the 3rd, that's tomorrow. Okay, that's tomorrow night. That I'm not too concerned about. That's associated with that storm system coming or that squall line coming through. But look at that, it rebounds. What we're looking for is any spots here where the moisture gets flushed out and it doesn't come back like almost immediately. And here, even these spots where it starts to get flushed out, see how it's coming back? Now we're way out here in la la land with these models. And like we're, 2 or 3 weeks out at this point, so it's kind of garbage, but I'm not seeing anything that just shuts it down. Um, I disagree a lot with a lot of forecasters. A lot of forecasters are like, "Oh, there's a death ridge. Oh, there's no short waves. Oh, there's no trough." It doesn't matter in May or June or July or August. It just doesn't matter, folks. I'm out in the field. Maybe if you're looking at widespread severe weather to cover with an audience, sure, maybe it is shut down. But for what I'm doing, folks, there's always severe weather. It doesn't matter if there's a high pressure ridge. It doesn't matter if there's an omega block. It doesn't. None of that matters. If there's moisture, there will be some sort of mechanism that will trigger convection somewhere at some point. It's in the plains. It always happens. This storm season's dead is bogus, and I absolutely cannot stand when I hear that stuff because it really just shows a lack of understanding of this. Um, because you don't need to have troughs coming through to get severe weather. You can have these shortwave impulses that aren't forecast. You can have other mechanisms of lift, forcing things like that. That you still get severe thunderstorms even when the season's dead, like right now, like they're saying. But what we really look for here is just moisture being flushed out. And I'm not seeing anything here that's a red flag to me. So I don't think we're going to be quieting down anytime soon. But what I want you to notice, though, is once we move out like about a week, look at this, in about a week, this moisture starts really creeping north into like Iowa, Missouri, Illinois, Wisconsin. So we're probably going to, and it gets flushed out again. But it does come back. So I think in about 2 weeks, we're really going to see a transition here where we're going to start having more storms to chase kind of in this area here. Instead of being out here on the high plains like we have been, I think, let's see, what is that? Maybe like the 15th through the 21st, maybe. So like that Sunday through Saturday, that third week. I wouldn't be surprised if we have a lot of storm chasing here, kind of in this Midwest region, creeping up into Iowa as compared to out here in the high plains. So at least that's kind of what my thinking is. But it looks like if we just go off on moisture here, that moisture really starts to come back to the high plains out here. Eastern Colorado, eastern New Mexico, the Texas Panhandle, western Kansas, western Nebraska. So if you want my official, unofficial prediction for storm chasing, is it's going to be up until I think this week, we're going to do a lot of high plains still, a lot of high plains and central plains. Next week is kind of a crapshoot. I'm not quite sure. It's a toss up. The third week, I think we're going to be so the third week of June, June started on a Sunday, so it's real easy to talk about in terms of this. But that third week of June, so like the 15th to the 21st ish, I think we're going to spend a lot of time maybe in like Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska. And then I think at like the 22nd through the rest of the month, I have a feeling we'll be back out on the high plains, so like Colorado, maybe even into the Dakotas and such. So I just kind of wanted to share that with you guys a little bit because that's actually my forecasting process. A lot of people ask, and that is 100% my forecast process. Is this time of year is where is the moisture, and as long as we have moisture, I always have confidence we're going to have something. Let's take a look one more time at HRRR composite reflectivity. I'm just going to put this into motion for you guys for today. So yeah, the latest HRRR is actually showing the same thing for today. Texas Panhandle. It actually might not be a bad idea to go out there. I don't know. The squall line moving down I-40 toward Oklahoma City. Honestly, folks, you folks in western Oklahoma from the state line all the way to Clinton, you guys actually might get in on some severe winds later tonight. So we'll see about that. But that's about all I got, folks. All right, guys, that's about all I got. Appreciate you folks for watching. I'm gonna go ahead and shut this down. I just want to do a real quick update for about 20 minutes, just giving you guys my thoughts, and there you kind of have it. So we'll go. I'll probably go stage somewhere in like Oklahoma. I think I'm gonna go somewhere to like Oklahoma, maybe Wichita Falls tonight, or Lawton would be great, but Lawton's very expensive tonight. I don't know why. Here's where I want to start for tomorrow. I want to be kind of in this area. I want to be up. I want to be somewhere here by tonight. I want to be somewhere here. But I think tomorrow we're going to end up starting the day somewhere in this region here. Maybe deploy Project Weather Eye. Maybe we can deploy a couple of cameras kind of in a configuration like this. That would be pretty cool. So you folks have a good afternoon. And I will see you guys later. I'll try to post an update in a little bit. And thanks for watching.